Today's menu, beef short ribs. We're gonna give them a good rub, get them out on the Weber Kettle to smoke, and then we are gonna have a taste of these amazing hunks of beef. So here's what I'm working with today. I don't know, what is it, a dozen or so beef short ribs. They're USDA choice beef short ribs. I'm going to rub them up and we're gonna get them in the refrigerator overnight. That way they'll just sort of soak in this rub. And that's gonna give them a great head start on a ton of flavor. Now the easiest way to rub this many up is to get them in a bowl, so let me do that. So normally I would just put rubs straight on these, but these are just a little bit dry, so I wanna add a little bit of a binder. I've said so many times I almost never use binders, but if it's necessary, I'll use one. And all I'm using today is a small amount of avocado oil. Doesn't really have any flavor, just kind of helps the rub adhere to the meat. Just gonna give a tiny little drizzle here. Just get in here, get everybody coated. All right, time for some rub. And the rub I'm gonna be using is Mississippi Grit from Swine Life Barbecue. I saw Russ over at Smoky Ribs Barbecue use this on something he was making. It looked really good. He said it was great. So I just ordered some and it came not that long ago, and I'm gonna give it a run on these beef short ribs. We're just gonna give them a good coating here. And this is a very nice savory rub for these nice pieces of beef. All right, that's looking good. These are gonna go in some Ziploc bags in the refrigerator overnight. Tomorrow, before we get them out to the Weber Kettle, I may hit them with a little more rub, but I'll decide that in the morning. So, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, our beef short ribs have been soaking in that rub overnight. I have the Weber Kettle going with the slow and sear on this breezy day. I have our short ribs out on a tray, and I think I do want to hit them with a little more rub, so let's do that. Just want to give them a nice little light dusting here. We're going to be going bone side down today. All right, let's get these on the kettle. Now the water reservoir in the slow and sear is about 3/4 full. I didn't fill it fully up there. Let's go ahead and get our ribs on here. I want to get the big ones closer to the heat source. And again, some of these are tall, but we want to try and keep them bone side down. It may be a tight fit today, but we'll deal with that. If you've never done beef short ribs, you're going to see these things shrink up and puff up. It's a jigsaw puzzle to get everybody in here. For smoke today, we're going to be using some olive wood. I've used olive wood before with these beef short ribs. Fantastic. Has a very earthy sort of flavor, goes great with beef. All right, let's get our lid on and get smoking. My target temperature today for the kettle is about 250 to 275 degrees. My top vent's about half open. My bottom vent is 2/3 open. And I'll be adjusting the vents as we go along. The slow and sear does a pretty good job of keeping in that sort of 275-ish range. If it goes up a little bit, I'm not gonna worry about it. And we'll come back and we'll check these in about 2 hours, see if we need to spritz them. And at that time, I'll make a decision on how I wanna proceed. Do I wanna let them just keep going on the grill, or do I wanna wrap them? And ultimately, we're taking these to a state of tenderness. That is usually in a temperature range somewhere between 190 and 205. But I'm just gonna test it based on tenderness. Are they probe tender? So I'll see you back here in a couple hours. All right, we've been going 2 hours. Let's see how we're doing. Those are looking pretty darn good. So I just want to do some tenderness checking here after 2 hours. Oh, pretty good. Still a little resistance, but we definitely are getting up there. Let me see the temperature here. Yeah, that is showing 169. I don't know if you can see that. So what I am gonna do now is, I've got good color on these. I'm gonna take them and we're gonna put them in a foil pan with a little bit of moisture, wrap them up tight in foil, get them back on here. So I'm just gonna take some plain water and spray these down to get some moisture in here. Don't need a whole lot of moisture in here. All right, let's seal this up with foil, get it back on the kettle. All right, I'm gonna come back out here in about half an hour and rotate that 180 degrees. And then in about an hour, those are gonna be done. So I'll see you inside in about an hour. All right, this is the kind of video where your cutting board is gonna get dirty, you're gonna get juice on it, and you just don't care because look at these. I pulled out several of them for everybody to see here before I cut in, and just amazing. Now I wanna mention something. I messed up on something I said outside. I corrected it and put an overlay on the video, but I wanna make sure you hear it from me. There was not 1 hour in foil, it was 2 hours in that foil pan. At the initial 2 hour mark, I knew that I already had the color that I wanted and I didn't want them to dry out, but I knew it was gonna take more than an hour. It's usually about 4 to 5 hours when I've done beef short ribs. So we were right at the 4 hour mark when I pulled these off, and probe tenderness, they're fine. So let's cut into one of these. So let's see, let's take one of these nice big guys right over here. And these have been resting for about 20 minutes. And I'm first gonna take this off the bone just by slicing along the bone. There's still good meat on this bone here. You can just take that up and gnaw on it. We'll set that to the side, and you can already see just by taking it off the bone there, you can see that smoke ring we got. So let's go ahead and slice. Oh yeah, that is nice and juicy. Let me cut some more here. Oh yeah. These are sometimes almost like the point of a brisket. I mean, people call short ribs brisket on a stick because you got the bone there to hold on to, but yeah, look at that. I mean, that is just looking terrific right there. I usually don't like pushing down and pressing the juice out and everything like that, but we've got plenty here. And you know what? Let's dive right into it because it is time to taste. And I'm just gonna take one of these nice little barky pieces right here. Sorry I have my gloves on, there's juice everywhere. That is fall apart tender, packed with juice, and that Mississippi grit rub, really like that. A lot of surface flavor on this. Sometimes in rubs, that flavor sort of fades away, but it's really sticking here. Now you can serve this many ways, straight off the bone like this, slice it up, put it in some buns for sliders, in tacos. The thing to remember is give it the time to get to this level of tenderness. Don't rush it. If I had only gone 3 hours and pulled it off, it would have been cooked, but it wouldn't have been tender and it would not have been this juicy. So if you can get your hands on some beef short ribs, don't hesitate to grab them. You can cook them up on an offset smoker, a kettle like I did, a pellet grill, anything you've got. Just give them that 250-ish temperature throughout the cook if you can. A little higher is not bad. And you're gonna have this brisket on a stick.